Good afternoon on this Saturday morning, January 6th. It's Eddie G's Music World. Just going to go over some music that's in the news, rock bands, information, current things going on in the music business. I do keep up with some of the more current things. Somebody made a comment on one of my videos that they like my robe. Well, I figured I'd put it on again just to make them happy in case they are listening to this video. So let's see what's going on. Wow, look at this. Right away, some sad news. Michael Bolton recovering from urgent brain surgery. Wow, he's been around a long time, and you know what? Getting old is no thrill. It happens to the best of us. So, Michael Bolton, "How Am I Supposed to Live Without You," and many other songs dealing with health problems. Next up, Stuart Copeland admits the police were always arrogant. I actually had a reply from Stuart Copeland. I mentioned that I saw him on a TV show, and he liked the notification that I gave him. So Stuart Copeland says the police were always arrogant. I don't know. Let's see. Is there anything really interesting about that? Okay, maybe you know what? It's not that exciting. He's already. Most people kind of knew that the police were like that. Next up, let's see if something else is going on. Corey Taylor cancels North American solo tour and issues statement. Now, Corey Taylor is Slipknot. He's in Slipknot. That's where they wear these kind of freakish facial masks, heavy rock, heavy metal type of thing. Well, it's a bit of a big story because he's in a band that's very big. So, well, let's hope Corey Taylor gets through whatever he's going through and can manage to hang in. Let's see what else is going on. You could chat if you want. I just surely hope that the vocals are on for this discussion. Next up, Smashing Pumpkins invite literally anyone to join the band. Hey, you know what? I can drum. Maybe if Billy would fly me in and let me use the drums, I'd be more than happy to deal with that. Thank you very much, Billy. I'll be giving you a call. Not really. He doesn't know who I am, and it's fine. Bruce Kulick on Final Kiss show. History was not represented. I'm going to read about this since I've met Bruce Kulick and most of Kiss. So, okay, last December, he left the Grand Funk Railroad. I don't know. He admits that it took some time. He didn't want to air it. Had it for 10 years. There's been events going on. Anyway, he feels like he's not been represented in the final years of the Kiss group. So I guess they went with the four classic members that we all know: Gene, Paul, and Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. So, okay, Bruce isn't thrilled. Sheryl Crow's got a new album. You know, I don't know if anybody really cares about that. Not really. I mean, new music is not a big deal anymore unless you're a 25-year-old hip hop or rapper. Ace Frehley looking for beer commercial he made with Rick Nielsen. Geez, the stories are not that exciting. Not at all. But we'll see if there's anything interesting here. Pearl Jam's got a new album. What is this? Stuart Copeland themed stories? Seems to be all about him. Chris Slade is talking about how he loved working for AC/DC. Dusty Hill from ZZ Top is selling his house for $4 million. You would have thought it'd be more like 10 because he's the main guy and he's the guitarist, and the bass player passed away, and the drummer Frank Beard is still in the group, of course. No more tours for Rage Against the Machine. Now this is a big deal. I did get to the point of seeing the drummer of Rage Against the Machine do a show with Black Sabbath. Yeah. And so that's as close as I got. But maybe they just don't feel like it anymore. Maybe they're not getting along as well as they used to. So there's that. So, not that I really, I like them, but if I don't see them live, it's okay. Okay, something about Don Dokken, very boring. Bruce Kulick again. Now Ace Frehley's talking about Tommy Thayer being out of work. Well, yeah, he is. Because Kiss is, let's hope, just for their own sake, that they don't go back on tour again. It's been enough retirement times already. So this is Eddie G's, excuse me, Music World. I do hope the audio is working here. I'm not wearing headphones, so it's a different feeling for me. It's a different look. I look more tanned on this new webcam I bought. Mysteriously, my webcam the wire got chopped. It's either a cat chewing on it, a mouse chewing on it, or one of my kids is trying to make me crazy by cutting it. Next. Okay, here's a great story. Well, it's been in the news quite a bit. Anyway, they're just discussing the situation between John Oates and Daryl Hall. They're not really getting along because of the fact that Oates tried to sell, or he did sell, some of the co-publishing of the music he did with Daryl Hall, as far as the writing and publishing goes. And I think Daryl Hall was suing John Oates because he's playing some of the music without him, without Daryl Hall. Okay, another story. Well, this is about Ricky Medlock, who I saw live with Lynyrd Skynyrd. He's having a hard time with Gary Rossington's death. Now, just to refresh those that know some things about the Gary Rossington's significance, he was a main guitarist, or one of the main guitarists. I think there was 2 or 3 in Lynyrd Skynyrd. But with the plane crash in the late 70s, 77, his legs and knees were pretty badly banged up, and he had to have operations, and then he still joined the band, and I saw him on tour with that original member. So what the story is that now the closest they have to any original members, Lynyrd Skynyrd, is the brother, Johnny Van Zandt, the younger brother. When I saw him, he was 59. He's probably 69 now, and there's stories that they're not going to last too long. Maybe they'll end it because now there's no original members. So it's like Foreigner without Mick Jones. When they go out, I mean, there's nobody from Foreigner that was there originally. Let's see. This is intriguing. Why Kiss's dressing room smelled like burnt toast? This is really nothing special. Okay, let's see. Let's see if there's something interesting. Sorry for the delay. All right, this is not interesting. I'm going to pass. I'd like to pass. Sometimes you see something that could be interesting, and then they're talking about Gene Simmons eating burnt toast. I think for whatever reason, I think people will do fine without hearing that story. John Cutler was a producer for Grateful Dead. He passed away. Let's see. It's a lot of. We're getting down to the point of. They're not being stories. They're just minor. Here's 2023 feuds. Let's see. Journey. This should be a great way to end up the show, or in the middle of the show. Neil Schon versus Jonathan Cain. There was I think one of the members of I think it was Jonathan Cain was racking up. Who was it that racked it up? Oh, and Neil Sean, he racked up $1 million in personal credit card bills. So he's being sued by Jonathan Cain. How the hell can they tour, which they are doing, but the non-original Jonathan Cain, who's very important because he wrote a lot of the songs and he plays on keyboards a lot. And then they go on tour. Mick Mars and Motley Crue, that's a well-known situation. He wouldn't tour, Mick Mars, because his back has been bad for many, many years. So I think there's a lawsuit there because of money, because he's not touring now. Maybe he's not getting all the money he's owed. Now John 5 has replaced him in the group for the tours. So there's big fights there. I don't think he'll ever be back. Paul Stanley versus Ace Frehley. These guys have been fighting since probably they met each other in the mid-70s. Ace Frehley said they might change the name to... No, Paul Stanley said he might have to change the name to Piss if they allowed Frehley back. So obviously, Frehley gets upset, and he retorts. John Oates' story is back on this list, so I just mentioned it, so I'll move on. Ozzy versus Geezer Butler. Now, this is a new one. I know about Bill, the Ward drummer, who didn't make a deal to go tour with them. He was replaced for the guy from Rage Against the Machine, which I mentioned earlier as well. But this is childish a bit. Ozzy was sick, and Geezer didn't reach out and try to talk to him. Yeah. Chris Cornell Estate versus Soundgarden. I've heard about this. Yeah. Who is it that's fighting with them? Apparently he's trying to record and... the legal battle is over between the state of Chris Cornell and the rest of the band. Nuno Bettencourt versus Guns N' Roses' Richard Fortus. Peaceful Resolution. Well, they're not in the same band, so I think I met one of the Gunners in 2007. I'm pretty sure this was the guy, Richard Fortus. I remember because he was, he looked like a rock star. He was walking around talking to people, so I talked to him. So they had a little falling out. Just typical childish little arguments. The Cures versus Ticketmaster. Apparently he wanted to, Robert Smith from The Cure wanted to refund every ticket buyer $5 each. And so because they were obviously upset about the exorbitant prices, I'm just going to check if anybody's tuning in. Oh, maybe I'll just tweet this out, and maybe somebody will show up. I'd be surprised. My son said he might watch, but probably isn't. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, I'm sending that out to my legions of fans. Next story, Kid Rock versus Bud Light. I'm not going to bother reading it. This is the one where the Bud Light guy, McDougal or Mc something, is Dylan Mulvaney. That's it. He got paid to as an influencer to discuss Bud Light, and he's trans, or not transsexual yet, but he's like transvestite type of mixing around. So Kid Rock, being a more hardline type of Republican / Trumper, didn't appreciate that, so he made a video of him shooting Bud Light bottles in his backyard or something. Not that. So it's another story. Pamela Anderson versus Pam and Tommy Producers. Oh, there's money fights about that. Well, I'll leave it at this for this particular time. Let's see if, 14 minutes, 47 seconds of news. If you have any comments, if you have any feedback for me, to tell me what you think. I don't mind a little negative feedback. My show is fun to do. I have a few people that do tune in, and I'm grateful for all of you. And we'll see you again another day. Hope everything works out. Goodbye.